Okay, let's get started. Today, our topic is how I got a job in Finland and what you need to do, what you need to know about networking as a job seeker. So let's get started. The agenda will be as follows. First, I will introduce myself, and then we will cover the topics. Why do networking in Finland really? Why it matters, why everyone is talking about it. We'll discuss also some blockers. You can also share some if you have any. And I will share some solutions with you that I came up with so far. I will share also some examples of how I got hired in Finland and how other people that I know got hired through networking in Finland. And then we will smoothly move to the Q&A part if we have some questions left in the end. So let's get started here. First things first. Today we are here at a webinar at Get Hired in Finland. And our mission is to help highly educated professionals to get employed, to get hired in Finland faster through one-on-one mentoring. And we provide workshops and courses. And you can find here some statistics that we have had so far, thanks to Lydia's and Rina's amazing work. Yes, okay. And I'm Daria. I'm a career advisor at Get Hired in Finland. I joined Get Hired in Finland quite recently. I moved to Finland 3 years ago, and on one of the next slides, I will tell a little bit about my journey. But who I am in a nutshell, I have a master's degree in humanities, and I got certified as a professional teacher and counselor recently here in Finland. I have work experience of 13 years, and I've led teams, projects in complex business settings. My first ever job was with visa and immigration services. I started still being a student, joined the team as an entry-level junior specialist, and in 1 year I became an operational manager of the team of 30 people. And that's how that's how I found my passion for bureaucratic things, for bureaucracy, paperwork and stuff, and found my passion for connecting the dots in the documents. So I'm kind of really like honing on that stuff. I worked there for 4.5 years, and after that I decided that I need to move on, and I joined a state-owned company, a production giant in Russia. And there I also started at an entry-level position. And I was working with executive operations, and then I became a project coordinator, worked in upstream. It means like production, basically. The main business. And also I worked with support functions like HR, legal department. I became later on I became a project manager. I worked with projects in HSE, it's health, safety and environment, complex projects, high budgets. And later on I became an operational manager in one of the entities that was owned by this corporation. So that's where I worked for 7.5 years, and it was a good experience it was tough experience, but it was good. I learned to navigate corporate life there, to navigate public sector and understand how power structures work in public sector and in state-owned companies. Yes, and one of the roles that I hold currently is a project manager role at Horizon. It's a nonprofit organization here in Finland. On the side note, this is me as a human. I really enjoy communicating with animals, especially with horses and dogs and cats. And I found my passion for baking quite recently, and I use baking as a stress reliever. So when I'm super stressed, I go to kitchen and I do some pastry like korvapuustit or cakes. So that's what I do when I'm stressed. And yeah, as I've said already, I moved to Finland 3 years ago as a student in June 2022. I was a student at a college in Finland. It is upper secondary education or ammattikoulu. And I was studying there and graduated in December 2023. And before that time, I didn't do much networking. I was networking just like sporadically. But after I graduated, I realized that, hey, that's time when I need to understand what I'm going to do next, and that I need to find a job. So I started networking consistently. And I will later tell you what I did and how I did it. And in May 2024, I started studying again at Haaga-Helia University of Applied Sciences because I wanted to acquire a qualification of a professional teacher. And in June 2024, after like 6 months of consistent networking, I got a job here in Finland. And here we are in June 2025, and I'm employed for 1 year already here in Finland. Yeah, we kind of discussed it a little bit already, but our general session rules are being respectful to each other, giving kind feedback, respect confidentiality of all the participants, and of course, as I told you, I expect active participation on your side, that you will be like giving me questions, asking, giving your thoughts about what I'm talking to you about. So let's move on to our topic. What networking might feel like and what it felt for me like when I first started networking. I felt that it was a buzzword. Everyone is like networking, networking, networking. This is how you get a job, networking. It also felt awkward. It felt scary. Like, okay, only brave people do networking. I'm not that brave. It also felt tedious at some point, and at some point it felt even pointless. And I want to ask you here now, can you relate to any of these feelings? Do you feel something like this from this list, or maybe something else? Would you want to share this, like in comment section, or you can raise your hand and just share it with me openly. Do we have chat? Everything, yes. Thank you, Prati. All of the above. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, tedious. Yes, it is. It is. Awkward. Awkward, scary. Something unintentional. Interesting. Frustrating. Yes. Yes, Lydia noted. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Hesitation. Boring, boring, tedious, tedious, pointless. Confused about this concept in the beginning. How to do network. I really don't understand how to do networking, like what I should offer, as all students have some things to offer and require job. Yes, yes. As a student, yes, I can understand that very well because I was a student at some point. Tedious, pointless. Scared of networking with Finnish people. Okay, because you don't speak Finnish well. How to ask about job. Good point. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing. I can like feel you here because I have felt everything here. And one thing that is that I understood at some point about networking that it might be a little bit or even a bit misunderstood what we expect from it. So let's move on to the next slide. Uh, why why do networking? Like you can again share some thoughts in the comment section. Um, why would you do networking? Like what's the goal for you specifically? Make connections. Good. Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts on why would you do networking?
Yeah,
Open opportunities.
I think
Mm.
networking. Hi, Ernesto. I
Hi,
think
Ernesto.
networking is also maybe beneficial, like to kind of connect a face to a certain service or a certain like uh thing that you can do for someone else uh instead of like a kind of a website, a faceless website, like to have like an interaction, like a human interaction with someone
Mm-hmm.
uh that sticks for a very long time, as opposed to some text or even a video on a website, I think. Anyway, that's my thought. I don't know.
Yes, yes. Very good point, Ernesto. Thank you. Because um, when we are talking to people through digital means, we might not be like recognized later on, but when you connect face to face, and it
Hmm.
kind of sticks with the other person, especially if you have some common ground to discuss. Okay, let's go to the comment section. Open opportunities to know about ongoings very well. I like to get to know new people, life stories, and achievements. To put yourself on a local map. Yes, people tend to hire people they already trust. Amazing, amazing point. Make meaningful connections. Building genuine connections and not transactional relationship. Amazing. To know better the culture, people, learn from their experience, know more about the local practices, culture, work, industry. People seem to respond to emails if they know you in person. Yes, exactly the point that Ernesto brought up. Yes. Personally, it helps to get different perspective about stuff. Maybe family, career, just simply living a life here in Finland. Yes. Thank you for sharing. You covered all my points of the presentation. Okay. Yeah, let's move forward and like structure these thoughts basically a little bit. So, we are told that networking is a way to get a job. And if you just go there and Google. I work with students as well. And if, for example, I Google what some of the schools in Finland tell their students about networking, we can find these. Like in Finland, 70% of jobs are never advertised. They're found through networks. And networking is vital because you can gain recommendations and references. But is it just happening by default, like by itself, like you go out there networking and you like immediately getting job opportunities? What actually happens in between networking and you getting hired, you getting a job opportunity? I think, and some of you already brought this thought in the comments, that as a newcomer in a new country, unless you were like relocated with a company you have been working with for years, you have literally zero credit in terms of the local job market. And I'm using this term credit history for a reason, because credit literally means trusted in Finland, in Latin, and trust is very relevant notion in Finland because the community in Finland is very small and closely connected. Everyone knows everyone, and you can like reach other people not through 7 handshakes, but through like 2 or 3 handshakes. And after you start networking, you will be meeting the same people, the same speakers, the same company representative, the same mentors, all over and over again. And this is how you will start gaining trust from other people just by showing up. When I like, let's get one step back. And if I remember myself starting networking back in January 2024, I had blockers. I thought that it was super scary, it was super awkward. I didn't know anyone, and no one knew me. And my brain was like going crazy because of the uncertainty that I felt. It was too much uncertainty because it's an unknown activity. I have never done that before in this format, at least in my previous professional life, and the environment is new. It's it's the new people, new culture, new language after all, and the language is very complex. So yeah, the problem is that you don't know where to start and you don't know how to start. So I decided to think about it and I came up with a solution. But before I share it with you, um, would you want to share with me what you do in networking and how you do networking? Any practical examples that you can give me, like super practical? You can open your mic. I'm comfortable sitting in silence because that's how I relax.
I was gonna just say like engagement,
Mm-hmm.
like in general creates some kind of a activity, which hopefully would be a positive thing for your networking. Like for instance, on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
just liking and commenting on a post will then engage your network and their network, and it can maybe get other people to want to connect with you. When you do make a connection, you should send a message to just say thank you for connecting, and doesn't have to be a whole lot, but just anything is better than nothing. And it can come back to that feeling of awkwardness and tedious and everything, but it again, I think it's important to think that there's a better outcome if I than if I don't do this.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, liking and commenting if we're talking about digital environment, yeah, it's the easiest way. It's like low threshold of getting involved into networking. Okay, we have some comments over here. Ask question about the other. It feels more engaging than directly talking about yourself. Breathe, smile, and start speaking. Good. Lunch with the former colleagues. Good. Call recruiters when they have phone number in the job application. That's a job of a brave person. Join online events for a small professional community. Yes, small communities, good. Showing up at events, professional or social, ask for advice or make it easy for them to answer. People love it when their opinions are valued. Very true. In an unknown place, it feels I'm in a horror movie because it's too tough to cope with that new environment. Feel you here. I feel like I would face that again and again to familiarize things around me. Yes, I understand how it might feel. Mostly LinkedIn message and some emails. Well, emails never have received response. Busy people, yes. In-person meetings has been more effective for me showing up at events, workshops. Volunteer work, yes. Actively volunteering, yes. And conferences, online events, exactly like this one. We're networking here, basically. Okay. Cool. So thank you for sharing. Let's move on. I will tell you how I started, how I broke the ice with myself, basically, starting networking back in January 2024. So I did my research, and I just browsed on the internet what networking, recruitment, professional events were out there, were happening soon. And I just picked the first one. I can even remember that it was an event called Welcome to Vanta, because I'm a proud Vantalainen. And yeah, so I went for this event, and to not sabotage myself, I even marked it in my calendar to not skip it. And the first step was super scary. So I decided that I won't go alone. I will take a friend with me. And we agreed with my friends that, okay, if we're going to some events, that, hey, maybe we can go together because it feels safer because there's a familiar face that you already know, your friend. Also, when you are visiting these events, you don't always have to pitch yourself or ask for work, ask for a job. You can just show interest in other people, ask a lot of questions, observe, even observe how other people do networking. Like, you can stand in the line. You all know these networking events where there are tables and organizations, and there are people lining up to ask a question from these representatives of the companies. So you can just line up with them and eardrop, listen to how people ask questions, what they ask, how the other person on the other side of the table reacts, and read their reactions. That's how I found my first internship, basically, because I was in a recruitment event, and I was looking for an internship for my first education here, and I was standing in the line, and there was a guy in front of me who was talking to the other, to the company representative. And they were talking in English. And the company representative told him like, hey, do you speak any Finnish? And he goes like, no, I actually don't. And in the previous rounds, I was speaking to all the company representatives in English as well. And I'm like, okay, I need to gather up all my courage and now talk solely in Finnish. No English words, like we can do that. And I spoke to her, to this company representative in Finnish, and she gave me her business card. And I sent her my CV. And she responded in 2 days, and that's how I got an internship. So basically, I listened to what's happening between, like in the conversation. It's like, it's totally normal. You are in a community, you are in a line, and you naturally hear how it's going. And you can gather information from this and analyze and make your conclusions and act upon them. Also, my workaround when I was still scared going to events, I started to speak to the same people in different events because in Finland, community is small and like many companies go from one event to another, organizations, NGOs, nonprofits. And I started talking to the same people because okay, in my very first event, I talked to this person X, and next time I saw the familiar face, and I came again to the same table and spoke to the same person, and she remembered me, and she was, oh, you were at this XYZ event last time, and I'm like, yeah, thank you for remembering me. And yeah, it was super nice that she remembered me. I don't know why, but maybe somehow, maybe I said something. But it was safer already for me because I already knew this person, and it was not the first time I talked to them. So this is how you can approach face-to-face interactions, and you can just trust the process and trust yourself in taking these steps and just repeat this. This is something you can start with. Pick some of this. Okay, let's move forward. What worked basically for me in building networks? I attended up to 10 networking events monthly. In some months, it was only 2. In some, it was even 10. And I went everywhere. I went to company excursions, presentations, seminars, webinars, workshops, and I began at some point encountering the same people. So I was kind of integrating into the community, and people like recognized me as a recognized person, and I was not a stranger anymore to them, and they became like familiar people to me as well, like not strangers anymore. That's how this uncertainty situation started to dissolve in a way. And I accepted that this is a process, and it's gonna take a while. Like learning Finnish. I think it's a valid comparison. Like learning Finnish takes time, and networking in Finland takes time. And I embraced Finnish language, and you don't have to be fluent by any means, but what counts is effort. Like if people see Finns, native Finns, see that you actually trying and putting in the effort, this is what's valued by people when they realize that okay, you're actually care about the language. And I joined a mentoring group for international women, and I was consistent with this. I improved my Finnish with this mentoring group, and I joined communities. And I used the resources that they provided. So it was LinkedIn coaching, it was career coaching, and resources in Finland are abundant in that sense. And like this event, for example. You came here and you can get some insights from our discussion today. So I just embraced the opportunities that were out there and explored what's there, what organizations and companies have to offer. Do you have any questions or inputs at this point? Do you want to share something that you can relate to, and maybe anything resonates? Okay, let's move forward. You can interrupt me at any point, you know.
There is a question in the chat, Daria.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. What is the mentoring group for international women you mentioned? It was a community called Auroras Verkosto, and they actually organize mentoring groups twice a year. And yeah, you can join for free. Do you think that networking efforts should be as hard as learning Finnish? Yes, I do. I do think that you should put a lot of effort into networking, and it pays off, like with learning the language. And you have to be consistent. That's the hack, both with the language and with the networking. Because when you drop learning the language, like your Duolingo doesn't affect you anymore, and you ignore the notifications from it, and you drop, everything like fades away. Like you forget the words, you can't even remember how to say the simplest words. And with the networking, it is kind of the same, because it's a skill to network. It's a skill to talk to people. It's a skill to find every time courage within yourself to go out there, show up, put yourself out there, expose yourself to other people. And you just want to train this muscle. Yes. Okay. What are good websites to find networking events? Good question. You can find a lot of information on LinkedIn. And what I did in the very beginning, I subscribed to newsletters. So I explored what kind of nonprofits are there, and nonprofit organizations organize a lot of networking events, basically. And also, yeah, so I subscribed to newsletters, and I received a lot of information from the newsletters I got. Yes, thank you, Lydia, for putting the name. Improve Finnish language counting as level A2 level would work, or have to be at B1 level. Well, language learning is a never-ending journey. So it depends on your goals, what you want to achieve, and how soon. So it really depends on your situation. Yes, thank you, thank you. Okay, so yeah, this is basically my point about putting yourself out there and exposing yourself to people consistently. Because this is how you, in my perspective, can build relationships of trust with them. You show up consistently, and people see you all the time, and it means that you exist in kind of their visual field. Okay, there's this amazing event happening, and okay, our fellow networker came again to this event and like be a frequent visitor to events and show up, especially if you committed to a group, to a mentoring group, for example. This is what I did. I never missed a class, for example, when I was doing this free mentoring program. And this is how my mentors, for example, could know me better, because every time I showed up, I could share a little bit more about myself. I could open up more and more, and they had an image of me constructed by me being there and showing up consistently and talking to them. And I became a reliable person for them. But it's a long game, because trust is never won in a short term. But I genuinely believe that this long game works. So my hack here is being consistent, and my actions started speaking for myself at some point. And if you would want to discover your own hacks and discover what are the ways that are suitable for you to do networking, you can join our mentorship program, and we can support you on this journey. Okay, 40 minutes. I'm tracking the time, but I have something to say about how I work, about what worked for me in landing a job. So it was kind of an inner belief that networking will help me. So I invested effort into it and time. And in fact, I got all my jobs through networking. And in Finland, while in Finland, I secured interviews at events 3 times. And one of them resulted in an internship. I already told you how I did it. So I listened, I made a conclusion, I applied the results of my analysis immediately, and that's how I got an internship spot. The other case was associated with speaking in Finnish as well. So I spoke in B1, B2 level of Finnish with a recruiter, and we agreed on an interview right away at the event, because I spoke to her in Finnish right away. Yeah, I shared my story. I communicated my skills and the value that I can bring to potential employers. And I used the free resources that were out there, and I got career coaching, and I exposed myself to a decision maker at some point, and this led to both my current employments, basically. So here you can see one practical example, and you can see the steps and the timeline. In February, I became active in one of the networks. In April, I booked a session with a career coach. We met, and I was following them on LinkedIn. In June, they posted a job ad. I applied, and I got a job because I got this job because the head of talent already knew me, because I had booked a meeting with her earlier. So she knew me, and it influenced, because the way I interacted with her made her remember me. And yeah, this is how my application was good, because not the head of talent was making the final decision, but the stakeholder was making the decision, the founder of the company. And the founder of the company was screening the applications, and my application got shortlisted in the first place. But when it came to making the final decision, the founder asked the head of talent, who should I hire? Because you, head of talent, know these people in person because they come to events. And the head of talent told the founder that you should hire Daria because Daria is fitting most for the job you have here. This is another practical example. So I spoke in January 2024. I spoke to someone at an event. I subscribed to a newsletter. In May, I registered to an event, and then I joined. This event several times, and that's how I met Lydia, for example, and that's how we started our professional communication. And at the end of the day, this May, I joined Get Hired in Finland as a career coach because Lydia already knew me from visiting Lydia's events in person, face to face. And Lydia was following me on social media, on LinkedIn specifically. And Lydia knew what I was doing and how. So this led to this collaboration. Yes, Lydia, please go ahead.
One of the decisive factors was that we met. We talked, and I was absolutely like, it was mind-blowing how great you are, what you have achieved so far in Finland. This was the biggest factor, that you know very well what internationals are going through. For example, the visa is expiring, you need to get a job ASAP, you need money to keep living in Finland, and how you overcame all of that in addition with your teaching skills and this wonderful job you are doing at Horizon. All of that helped me to make a decision.
Yes. So basically, if I just go here on this slide, thank you, Lydia, for commenting, because this is a lot of text. And normally in presentations, we don't put a lot of text on slides because like it's tedious to read. No one reads it. But it's like a lot of text is here like intentionally. It gives you a meta message. And I'm explaining this now to you, that this was a lot of actions, a lot of work. And here you can see in my practical examples what's in bold, what's bolded in this text: verbs, actions. No kind of a shortcut here, no easy workaround. You need to do the work. I'm sorry for breaking this to you, but this is how it works in Finland, at least. So you need to be consistent and do things. And another practical example from my work with interns, in one of the mentoring sessions, I had this guest speaker, and I was facilitating the session. And the guest speaker got a lot of relevant questions from one of the participants. And in a couple of weeks, I learned that this participant, the student, was hired by this guest speaker. What happened? How did it happen? The participant, first of all, they showed up. Not everyone shows up to sessions. people register, but they don't show up. This person showed up. Also, when the guest speaker was speaking, was like telling the story or like sharing some knowledge, this participant showcased their interests. They like raised their hand, they added comments, they asked questions, and they also shared their background and their current project they're working on. And it happened that the guest speaker works in the same industry, in the relevant industry, and they have a project at hand that can be tackled by this amazing proactive person who shows up and like feels like enthusiastic about doing this job. So it might feel that okay in a couple of weeks, but there was a background before this happened. This participant already worked and had something to share as well, and showcase what kind of value this participant can bring to the guest speaker as a decision maker, as a stakeholder. So is it all kind of luck, accidentally being in the right place at the right time? I suppose you already know the answer. Not exactly. People here in Finland tell a lot that I was so lucky. It was a lucky, happy accident that I got a job. It just popped up in my LinkedIn and I applied, or I just met this person on one of the events. It was a complete accident, but like it wasn't, because the luck is found at at the intersection of some external opportunity that is out there, but it's only can be found if you go out there too. If you are exposed to this opportunity, if you expose yourself. And this is the intersection of this opportunity and an external one, and the conditions you've created for this opportunity to become reality. So you are constantly doing the work, showing up, pitching yourself, trying, failing, feeling uncomfortable, and accepting that this is gonna take some time, and believing in yourself and trusting yourself in this. So, what is networking in practice? It's not a buzzword, but it's actually helpful. It can be, and it will be awkward. You will have to accept this, especially in the beginning, but also at some point in the middle of the process, when you are already a seasoned networker, it might feel awkward anyways. It will be scary, especially in the beginning. It will take time and effort, and it needs research, practice, testing, figuring out your own ways of doing things. And most importantly, why networking is misunderstood, it's not only for getting a job, it's for building, it's for creating the base for external opportunities to work at some point. And it's not only about getting a job, though it's our final goal that we are all headed to, but also through networking, you can validate yourself as a professional. You can find new friends. You can experience belonging, and you can get a positive feedback about yourself, which will help you keep the spirit on this long way. And what can work for you? You need to try out and research. But I believe that you can do this, as I did this, and you can do it as well. Thank you so much. Please stay connected on LinkedIn. We still have some time for questions. Yes. Okay. How do you expand your network so you are not just networking with other internationals? In recruitment events, for example, you can meet companies, Finnish companies, and you can network with Finnish people who are representatives of these companies. Also, LinkedIn is a very good platform where you can find locals who are posting also in English. What does it mean to have booked a session with a head of talent? Was it a friendly meeting? Did she knew you were looking for a job? It was a service that this organization provided, and anyone could book a session. And I just used this opportunity. I prepared. I polished my LinkedIn. It was a total mess. And I got feedback. And I decided that I will do my homework and I will be annoying enough. And I booked another session for this person to check my profile again and confirm that now everything looks fine. So yeah, being annoying is good for me. I don't know how it's for you, but like it worked for me. Genuinely, people who are helping internationals, they know that you are looking for a job. Yes, and it shows in your CV, it shows in your LinkedIn, because normally you put this badge open to work. So yes, this head of talent knew that I was looking for a job, of course. It was written on my forehead, probably. Yes, I'm often told that I'm lucky to have found my job in Finland after having 8 years of career gap. It's a joke, knowing, yes. Yes, okay. And I know how networking can truly help land a job, but it's also true that you'd have to be graduated or at least studied in any Finnish universities or schools or courses to get attention from recruiters. Good question. I would say that this can help. Being a graduate of a course at least, or a mentorship program in Finland, or upskilling course, something like this, because this shows that you have experienced Finnish educational system firsthand, and you know how the system works. So you have the, like, so to say, Finnish experience. But you don't have to be a graduate of a Finnish university, for example. Though I did some courses, and everywhere I went, I told everyone that, hey, I'm doing this course right now. I'm improving my skills. I'm being trained. I want to strengthen my chances. So that's why I'm doing this course. This course is aligned with my values, and this helped people and recruiters understand what kind of person I am, what's important for me, where I see the value, and if I even understand what I'm doing here and with my life in general. what I want to become of myself. So this is not about getting a degree here in Finland, but making your story look aligned and making sense to you in the first place and to the people out there who you are talking to. I would say, yeah.
We have only 1 minute left. I suggest if you still have something you want to ask Daria, please scan her. I think this leads to your LinkedIn, right?
Yes, it does.
So is it okay if people send you questions there?
Of course, of course. You're very welcome to do so. Please connect, not only follow, but just push the connect button. And yes, feel free to shoot me questions if you have any. Even like after a couple of days, it might take me some time to reply, but you will get the replies.
I have a question.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
10 seconds for a question and 30 seconds to answer.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's a small question. So like I have a friend that I've been I've been doing this like meeting people and trying to connect and so forth, but it hasn't gotten any result. So like a friend of mine suggested that LinkedIn and other like social media is like a much faster way to connect with people, to send your CV and so forth. So do you think like this is true? It's better than, like meeting people, and because it's much faster, you can find people that are relevant and so forth. And had you had experience with this kind of thing?
Did I get your question right? That what's better? What works better, face-to-face or digital, like online? I think face-to-face works better.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good. But have you tried like communicating with people through LinkedIn and that are like relevant to your experience? And
actually, it's a combination that would work better. You meet people face to face, and then they connect with you. They start following you, and then you start posting and showing who you are through your online presence. And that's how you maintain the connection. And people can actually confirm to themselves that, hey, I connected with this person, and this person actually hits my brain in the right way, and these values feel like aligned with mine, or like areas of interest are aligned. So I would say that it's a combination.
Yeah, and if I can quickly add, Daria.
Yes, sure.
I would say, even to answer Abdelaz's question, if you're connecting to somebody, first online, like on LinkedIn, but it's really more beneficial if you follow up and then at some point you meet them in person. So it's like, as Daria said, it's a combination, but works both ways. Either you first meet them and then connect and continue the conversation, or if you're already connected, try to meet them in person as soon as possible, because it's the combination that actually works the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lina.
Sorry. Sorry, I kind of.
Thank you.
No. It's good, but
yeah,
it's good. Exactly. Like I completely agree. Thank you for helping me out here.